going pure Marauder at this point, and Storm's going off once again. These Hellions desperately trying to heal through this Storm damage, able to take out a Sentry, but more units coming in. As we see these Archons warp in, no Ghosts in this mix. There's going to be no EMPs, and these Archons are going to be warping in very, very shortly. They're coming online. These Marauders are bunched, which is exactly what Archons love. They love bunched units to deal with, but both players coming out of that engagement, pretty bad shape. Nirvana able to execute really, really well, but he just took so much damage from all these Marauders, and we are finally seeing some siege mode being researched here, and it might actually seem that Select is going to make something other than biological and Hellions right now. So, interesting transition there, but Nirvana still is in pretty good shape as both players have so many expansions right now. This map is cut in half, looking like Nirvana is thinking about taking his 5th while Select actually has his 5th. Would not be surprised to even see them taking the island expansion at this point, looking like they're just keen to mine this out and continually back and forth from their safe points at these Xel'Nagas.
Yeah, looks like we got Select coming in again. He doesn't have any dropships with his Marauders this time, or Ghosts, so I'm not really sure how effective this is going to be. Nirvana wisely pulling back, waiting for the more reinforcements, because he does have 10 gateways, warp gates here, so we'll be able to reinforce them extremely quickly. There is our observer with Yummy, but here goes Select. The stim comes in. Oh, a little bit of a trail for Nirvana's forces here, just a little bit split up. Great storms by Nirvana just once more. Really putting all these Marauders in the orange health here. Red and orange. Oh, great concave by Nirvana here. So many Stalkers just dropping these Marauders one by one. Takes out the Archon though, that's a good thing. Especially, but just having a quick look around, these Marauders are just going to be taken out one by one. Just looking over at Select's base, he does have his 5th already. Not many workers there, just the one at the moment. His gold is now mined out though. So really, if we have a look at the income tab, Nirvana now pulling ahead a lot.
Yeah, Nirvana almost with a 2-to-1 advantage right now, pushing out too because that macro advantage is really kicking in, and Select has been relying on this mass Marauder so heavily, but now Nirvana's starting to execute really nicely with this good unit mix, sending in a bunch of Zealots, Psystorms going off. Finally, we see some tanks out here. I was wondering when they were going to make an appearance, but they're very, very defensive. His gold expansion is vulnerable right now, but there's no money there. This is very, very late for Nirvana to be killing us. He's got to be careful. He's going to be sandwiched. He does not want to fight in this narrow little corridor. These siege tanks in perfect position to shell this unit mix. Now we're seeing the Marauders forming a door for the Nirvana's units not able to get out of, able to soak some damage into the Marauder line by sending his Blinkstalkers in there. Few siege tank shots going off on these Immortals, but this army is going to be wiped out, although he did take down the Planetary Fortress. Very, very expensive drop of that Planetary Fortress though. Even though he's only really taking out the gas mining, it is a loss there for Select. More Zealots coming in, trying to work on this mass tank that's starting to be pumped out. We are seeing more and more tanks being produced as Select goes heavy metal. The Marauders just have not been working, and we're seeing a huge amount of mining going on for Select, bringing on so many bases right now, and even a forward pylon there for Nirvana, able to bring more units in. But this siege tank nest is doing so much damage and so effective against Nirvana at this point. Curious to find out what Nirvana's going to go with, and it looks like he's going to throw down almost a happy face worth of gateways at this Xel'Naga here. So both players really down to the wire here in terms of who's got the lead in this. Despite the fact Nirvana's able to drop a base, he lost all his units doing it. So this is still anyone's game.
Yeah, I don't think that was the wisest choice by Nirvana, just me personal, because he wasn't actually mining from it, and all the Zealots were caught at the back. So now, Select getting a scan off on these gateways, he knows something's happening, but he really needs to creep forward with these tanks now. So what Nirvana needs to do, he really needs to use his Zealots to attack the tanks first. That way they can draw some of the fire and maybe get some kind of splash damage on there. There's only one pylon doing all these gateways though. If that gets sniped, that's not good. More storms coming down for Nirvana. Select being forced to pull back a bit, but as soon as he gets those tanks in range, there they are. Tanks are now in range. They're going to be going to town on all these Zealots. It's a great micro here from Select, being able to handle all that there. But these Marauders now getting on the yellow and orange helm. But Select moving his tanks up slow bit at a time, and here we go for Nirvana. He is pushing out so many tanks, just taking out all those Zealots so quickly. Nirvana trying to focus down a few of them with more Zealots coming out. There's so many gateways being able to pump out units so quickly for Nirvana here. I reckon he's got about at least 15 gateways if we actually had a look at his gateway count. Just constant reinforcements of Zealots coming in. Select not microing his stuff at the moment. There he goes. He's stimming back. Really needs to take out these tanks. The Immortal going to town on them because they do get that extra damage versus the tanks as well as Marauders. Looks like Nirvana's going to be forced to pull back here, I think, just because he's been overrun by the stream of reinforcements of Select units coming in.
Yeah, the macro from both players is just massive right now. This pylon is so critical, though. Nirvana got 3 gateways coming off this, and that's where his ability to warp units in and reinforce. There's just constant, unending battle royale going on in the middle of Lost Temple right now, as we see Void Rays coming out for Nirvana, doing a switch into Stargates right now. Why not? Building every other unit, might as well try that. But there are a bunch of cannons coming on at Edict expansion for Nirvana. Does not want to be harassed too much. Another drop coming, but it's empty, fortunately for Nirvana, coming out towards the 6 o'clock natural right now. Just constant harassment coming from both players. Good use of observers going on there for Nirvana. He does see all this tank Marauder, so the Void Rays coming out to do so much damage. Here we are seeing the Void Rays coming in. There is no anti-air, no Marines, no Thors, no nothing. These Void Rays are just going to have a field day on these units, and that's the problem with going against such heavy ground specialists. It does open you up to being vulnerable to this, and taking out the supply depot, not sure I agree with this. He should really think about coming in and going to town on these units, because these Void Rays, once they charge up, we're able to mop these up. Looking like he's pushing out to the north expansion at the same time. Does not want that command center to turn into a planetary. Does not want that lockdown. Checking the gold with his Void Rays. Once again, the Marine tanks, the Marauder tanks pushing out, but the Void Rays are going to intercept. Finally, some Marines coming out, but only 1 Marine, and it's going to be basically Void Raid immediately. Even some Vikings being produced here from Select. Huge amount of aggression though. Select burning stim, heading towards this expansion, trying to slow down Nirvana's macro right now. Snipes the High Templar, but now he's in a great position to deny this. Would not be surprised if we see a Nexus drop if he goes that way, but Nirvana bringing his forces in. Stalkers and Templars coming in. Good storms going off. Marauders fleeing again, and even the probes getting involved in the fight as we see these Void Rays joining the fight again. Another Void Ray coming in. 3 more Void Rays coming in, 3 more in production. So this force is being mopped up, and air superiority for Nirvana. So I feel Select is in bad shape, because he lost one of his bases, going to lose his second to these Zealots up the top, and Nirvana is smelling blood in the water as he closes in with these Void Rays.
Yeah, we do see a lot of Marines and a lot of Vikings out for Select now. I just think it's a little bit too little too late. If we have a quick look here, he still does he is pretty even on the income tab, but so many charged Void Rays. Oh my god, it's just going to town on all these barracks. They are dropping so fast. Charged Void Rays versus Vikings is not something you want to happen, and just because he has the pure amount, he's just going to be dropping these Marines like no tomorrow. I really think instead of running there losing 3 or 4 more, he really could have just stayed and fought, but so many reinforcements coming in for Nirvana now. Just being able to box up. Wow, that's a lot of Hellions. Really want to take care of all those Zealots, but looks like Nirvana thinking ahead and going a more Stalker heavy army this time, so really deal with these Hellions. Wow, great storms there as well. This could be a GG right here, just because of this mass amount of Void Rays.
Yeah, Select in a bit of a bad shape right here. Nirvana not being pushed back. His Void Rays, no real answer for it, and this big epic game comes down to that tech switch from Nirvana was just too effective, as Select goes into the tanks and Nirvana goes into the Void Rays, and the Void Rays coming up trumps. Epic game though, as Select calls GG, and really strong play from both players. Nirvana was just too good, even though Select had that really good execution with his Marine Marauder kiting and constant drops using his APM to the best there, but Nirvana was just too strong at the end of the day.